Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be talking about how to analyze your mock, how to make an Excel sheet and track your progress, how to identify your strengths and weaknesses, and what are the things that you can do to optimize your scores. So this is one of my past year mock analysis and I'll be taking this analysis as a reference. So on top of it, I've written the section name and the scores that I've obtained in that particular section. So I've made these columns: genre, title of the passage, question type, accuracy, and some comments. I'll tell you the color coding later. The reason why I've made this column of genre because by the end of September or October, you would have given a lot of mocks and you can have a database of it. From it, you can have a pattern of your reading interest. In some genre, you are much more comfortable, you will be much more interested, and due to which you will be able to comprehend that particular passage better and score well. So you can have a strategy of selecting those passages first and score some and get some scores in the beginning itself, and then look out for the difficult ones. In this way, you can optimize your scores. Same reasoning is there for the question type. As you can see here, I'm doing well in odd man out question, but I'm not good in para jumble. So in case of VA section, I will solve the odd man out first, para summary second, and the para jumble in the end. Once you start making such table, you will get a raw data from it, and then you can strategize well accordingly. Similarly, over here, I can see that I'm not good in conclusion type questions. Zero correct, three incorrect. So I'm not good in conclusion type question. So I have to improve this part. I will solve more RCs in which conclusion based questions are there. This will help me in improving this area of RC. In the second table, as you can see, I'm quite comfortable with archaeology passages, 5 correct, 0 incorrect, and I'm not comfortable with history passages, 0 correct, 4 incorrect. But I'm moderately well in psychology. So in the next mocks, if these genres come, I will solve archaeology passage first, then psychology, and lastly the history passage. This will create a kind of a preference order for me. Okay, so here the VRC section is done. Let's move on to the DILR part. In DILR, I segregated the sets on the basis of their topic. I mean the type of set, in which uh, I can see whether whether I'm comfortable with a particular type or not. As you know, in DILR, set selection is very important. So for that, I need to know my strengths, my weaknesses, my comfort zone. In my case, I'm very much comfortable with sets or distribution set. So if I see such set in the paper, I will solve those set first. But the question is how to identify our comfort zone. Once you start making such Excel sheet, wherein you will be able to see your accuracy, uh, the type of set you're solving quite consistently, that will determine your comfort zone. But for that, you need to make a lot of analysis in various mocks. Then only you will have some reliable data from which you can have some judgment. And one more thing, it is not at all necessary that you will be able to solve all the sets that comes under your comfort zone. As you can see here, I said that I'm quite well in arrangement sets, but I left this set because it was quite difficult. So it is not at all necessary that I will be able to solve everything from my comfort zone. So for that, you should try to solve a set with, you should just see the set and try it for like around 3-4 minutes. If nothing clicks in your brain about that set, then skip it and move on to the next set. You should not waste much time in a particular set, or else you will not score well in the ILR section. So set selection is quite important. Now moving on to the QA section, you can see the QA analysis is very detailed one. I wrote about each question, its topic, the question type, whether it is MCQ or TETA, accuracy in it, and the difficulty level. Now, this is a very subjective column. Some topics or question can be difficult for you, but not for others, and vice versa. So this is a subjective column and some comments. I used to attempt quant section in 4 rounds: round one, round 2A, round 2B, and third round. Um, I go through the entire paper and used to solve in round one. I go through the entire paper and I used to solve only those questions for which I don't even have to pick up my pen. You can see in some question, in some rows that I've written that it is a round one question, a sitter round one question, then sitter round one question. So for these questions, I do not have to pick up my pen and I can just solve it immediately. So this is my round one question. And while you're going through the round one question, uh, I used to make a note of all the questions that I'm going to solve in the subsequent rounds. In round 2A, 2A, I will solve those questions for which I know the exact method and I can solve it within a minute or two. In round 2B, I will solve those questions for which I don't know the exact method, but that question is from my comfort zone, from my favorite topic. And I need to work a little to get the right answer. So this is my round 2B question. During round one, as I told earlier, that I used to go through the entire paper and pick up question for round 2A and write the question number on the margin of my rough paper. So this 2A margin of my rough paper, I used to write the question number. And for 2B questions, I used to mark that mark for later option in the portal itself. Somewhere over here, you will find that column mark for later option. This is on the portal itself and round 2A on the margin of my rough paper. As soon as I finish my round 1, I will directly jump to this round 2A. And when I finish this round 2A, I will jump to round 2B. And I leave this round 3 questions blank. No marking in that. So in this way, I have sorted out my progress in quant section and I can optimize my score. In this column, in this table, you will see the list of all the topics that have appeared in this particular mock. As you can see, I'm quite good in APGP, but not good in PNC questions. So automatically, I will get an idea that I'll do PNC questions in round 3. Okay. And APGP question in round 1 or round 2 based on its merit. I also got to know that since I am not good in PNC, I have to do hard work in it. I will solve more PNC questions to make me much more comfortable with that topic. Now the next table is for the question type. As you can see, I'm quite good in MCQ questions, but not well in Theta questions. So it's quite clear that I'll prefer to do MCQ question first, then the Theta ones. Well, many people recommend you to attempt the Theta first because it doesn't carry any negative marking. But my point is, if the Theta is not fetching any marks to you, then there is no need to invest time in it. As the marks you score will determine your percentile. So you have to maximize your marks. So don't go with what people say, assess your performance and then make your strategy accordingly. And this table is for difficulty level. This will give me an idea that whether I'm able to pick up right question at right time or not. And even if I'm picking it at right time, whether I'm solving it correctly or not. If my accuracy is not up to the mark, then I might reduce my attempt in order to optimize my scores. I hope you understood the relevance of such mock analysis. Now, the last thing to learn from this video is the color coding. I have my own color coding, you can have your own. Red color for me is the danger sign. That means I know that question, I could have solved it correctly, but something happened in that paper. I did some silly mistake or something happened and I couldn't solve it correctly. So this is my danger sign. I lose my marks in it. All right. Now, the green color is for this question for which I could have solved it correctly, but I left it. Maybe because the question size was intimidating or something happened because of which I left this question. So this is again a danger sign for me. And this yellow color coded questions are those for which I saw this question for the first time, first timers. Or maybe this concept is entirely new for me. I have to practice this question again and again to make me familiar with this type of questions. So these are the color codes that I follow. Now, it will be somewhere around September, October, or early November, you should open up your mocks and solve some questions from it. But there is no need to solve the entire paper, entire sets, entire questions. The color coding will help you to pick up those questions in which you have not done well. So I will pick only this yellow, green, red color coded questions and solve it. So this is the significance of color coding. Finally, I will teach you how to make this pivot table. So for that, I will select the row. I will select the bubble where I will make this table, and I will go to insert, and there is a pivot table option. I'll click on it. Now I have to pick up the range from which I will make this pivot table. So I'll go back to the original serial number. I will simultaneously click shift and control. Just listen to what I'm saying. I cannot show it to you. Shift and control simultaneously. Then down, I have selected the entire column. Then right, I have selected the entire row. So what I have done, I have gone to the serial number, shift control simultaneously, down, and then right. So I've selected the entire table. Now just click OK. All right. So now I have created the pivot table. I have to pick up the things that I need for this table. For example, I need, this was my uh, topic. So I need topic in the row. I got the topic in the row. Then I want accuracy in the column. And I also want accuracy in the value. Value means how many questions I have done correctly, how many incorrect. So that will give me the value. So the pivot table is done. You just have to, make some aesthetic work, like I'll make it in the middle, and then I'll put the borders, all borders. So it is aesthetically good, and I've made a pivot table from which I can analyze my scores. I can analyze my marks, whether in which topic I'm lagging, in which topic I'm doing well. So um, this is all about how to analyze your mock. I hope you learned a new perspective of how to do well and how to improve your mock scores with the help of your past mock experiences and the data that you have got from these tables. I'll put this Excel template in the description below. You can download it. So this is the end of this video. Do subscribe the channel. I'll put couple of more videos relevant to CAT. And thank you for watching this video. I wish you very good luck.